Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're giving you our second half of our Week 9 fantasy football starts and sits. We're here to help you make all the right decisions on who you should keep in your lineup, who you should take out, and who's going to break your heart if you make the wrong decision. Let's start this fantasy football podcast right meow.
Hit that drop. Hey everyone, I am Justin, that is Kyle, and this is the Fantasy Football Upside. Thanks very much for dropping by our Fantasy Football Podcast and YouTube channel. We appreciate it. And today, we're giving you the second half of our start-sit questions for Sunday and Monday games for Week 9. Definitely check out first half of our Week 9 start-sits by clicking right where Kyle points.
There it is.
Also in the description below. Yep. You're also going to find our top starts, streamers, and fades episode down there in the description below.
We link all the episodes from the whole week down there. So everything's down there in the description below, so you can catch all the good content about Week 9 specifically. And so if you want to make sure that you're getting that stuff when we upload it, you need to subscribe to us and hit the bell. And look, just hang around for a little while. You'll get some funny stuff that we like to say, do, think. But that's not all we bring. We also bring you the upside information that you need to be able to win your championship this season, because we're always talking about
championship
and how we can get you there, guys. That's what we want to do. And to that end, leave comments below asking us questions, because we're also always asking. Even if there's a bear involved, we will still provide that assistance. We're still waiting on somebody to answer what that's from.
Right. Correctly. Answer
correctly. Yeah. I mean, we did get it was an interesting guess. It was the wrong guess, but it was a very interesting one. I like that. Yep. And so we definitely appreciate it. Let's dive headfirst into the shallow end on this and get rolling. This is the second half of our starts and sits for Week 9. And so here we are.
Yep.
Top of the list. Go for it.
Denver Broncos versus the Atlanta Falcons. Denver Broncos is first here, Kyle. So why don't you go ahead and hit me with those?
It's not a whole lot here, guys. Not a whole lot. It's okay. It's better than like the Jets, right? Okay, so Drew Lock is actually a start. I think he's your streamer this week, right? As far as QBs go. And I think that both of us are kind of choking it back to say that, right? But it is 100% matchup based here. It's Atlanta, and they're giving up so many points to the QB position that they're really
number
have to consider it. They are.
Yeah, they're number one. Not the best to be at number one, though.
Not at that number. Number one in fantasy points surrendered to the QB position. Melvin Gordon is a back end running back 2 this week, most likely. So I would say he is startable, but I would try to put him in my flex if I could. And then Phillip Lindsay, I would say he's lucky to be a value at flex if you start him. So do not put him anywhere but a flex spot. And I would hope that I'm in a league that has multiple flex if I'm going to put him in, just because I think that the value is going to be centered around Tim Patrick if he's healthy. It looks like he's going to play this week, most likely. Maybe since we're recording this a little earlier, maybe he's been marked out. I don't know. So keep your eyes on the news with regard to Tim Patrick. If he's good to go, he's good to start. It's a good matchup. He's one of the only true reliable assets that they have in the wide receiver group right now. The other guys are all very inconsistent. And the only other guy that I like sort of is KJ Hamler. He's just too small to be consistently valuable. He's just, they're not using him correctly, and he's not going to be enough value for you in fantasy football. So pass. Tim Patrick's the guy that you want there. Noah Fant is the other guy that I'm suggesting as a start. And again, this is a good matchup. He's one of the only pass catchers who has much experience at all in this offense. And so you're going to run him out there. I think that he's my start of the week at tight end, possibly. And that is or was he streamer? I don't remember. I said fire him up. Either way, on Thursday's episode, I said fire him up. And that is because they are facing Atlanta. So speaking of Atlanta, what do you got for me?
So Matt Ryan, start if you have to. But Calvin Ridley could be out for this game. So definitely keep an eye on that. If he is out, that's going to be really tough to trust him as a QB1 this week. So, but up next, Todd Gurley, you're going to start him. I think he made your fades of the week, but I look at Todd Gurley and I think of David Montgomery as well, except for the fact that Todd Gurley was super athletic at one point. But I look at them as being fantasy relevant just because of their workload is still rather large.
Yeah.
But for wide receivers, Julio Jones, definitely a top 3 wide receiver. He's going to just get crazy target share, especially if Calvin Ridley's out. So if that happens, I still don't see another wide receiver I would like to put in there, because I think Hayden Hurst, who is the tight end that is a start on this team, I think he's the one that benefits the most if Calvin Ridley is out. So
I just want to say Russell Gage is a little banged up, guys. So that's really exactly does make sense.
It does.
And then Hayden Hurst has been valuable when Julio has played. When Julio's been out, he's not been. And it's exactly. Very, very weird. And then the only other thing I did want to mention was that Todd Gurley is going against, I think it's the 30th in points allowed to the running back position. So this is not a good
temper your expectations.
So yeah, if you do fire him up, which you're probably going to have to, because you can't pass on a guy who's like 2nd or 3rd round pick for yourself. You just got to temper your expectations.
It's tough if you're going to get a guy that's going to have 20 touches.
Yeah.
Just like the David Montgomery, it's almost matchup proof, because it's just workload proof.
Yep.
But up next, we have the Las Vegas Raiders against the LA Chargers. Kyle, what you got for the Raiders?
All right. Derek Carr, this is a good matchup. They're allowing top 5 in points to the QB position. The Chargers are. And so you're going to fire him up. Josh Jacobs is a solid chance for points this week. Not the best matchup, but still something that you're going to do. And then Darren Waller, this is a really good matchup as well, because they're allowing top 10 in fantasy points to the tight end position. So the 2 guys that I'm focusing in on most are going to be Darren Waller and Derek Carr here. Josh Jacobs, I'm just saying you got to start him. He's got a solid chance for points, but this is not the easiest matchup. It's definitely easier than running in the mud, though, which is what they did last week, and he was pretty successful at that. So
30 carries, I think.
He's a mutter, right? That's what
he's a tough mutter, man.
No, he's a mutter. That's the old expression about horses. I'm not saying the dude's a horse, guys. I'm not saying that. I'm not going there, but he's definitely a bell cow for that team, and he's apparently a mutter. He can get it done. All right, so Chargers, what you got?
Justin Herbert, man. I'm going to start him up, and he's turning into an every week QB1. Definitely start him up in this week. For running back, Justin Jackson is the guy to own in this offense whenever Austin Eckler is out. He has become a pretty decent running back, too, in his absence. So that's why I think I have Justin Jackson ahead of Joshua Kelly, which a lot of people thought it was going to be Kelly. Maybe that happens next year.
Maybe,
but it's just not
this year. He's just been a disappointment.
It's just rookie trying to learn the offense. It's just not quite there yet. But for wide receivers, Keenan Allen, I mean, based off the number of targets this guy gets, he should be a wide receiver 1 for the rest of the year, but he's most likely going to perform as a wide receiver 2.
Yeah.
And it's just the story of Keenan Allen. It really is.
We talked about this. Like the other day, we were talking about the fact that he had like 14 targets and 9 catches or something, and he only had 80 yards. So his target, his average depth of target, it can't be very high. I haven't looked at it, but it can't be very high. And then his yards after catch can't be very high. No, he's been the king of inconsistency. That's what we talked about all summer about him. That's why we were fading him. But basically, since Herbert got there, he focuses in on Keenan Allen, and that is it. And
that's it's workload once again. It's just temper your expectations when you're like, holy crap, he's gotten 12 targets. He's going to be wide receiver 1. No, it's not really happening. But another wide receiver I do want to talk about is Mike Williams. He's got that draft pedigree, but he's still a boom or bust wide receiver 3. I mean, he could win you a week, but he could also put up like 2 points.
Isn't he a 3rd-year guy too?
Yeah, 3rd or 4th.
Yeah, he's like 3rd or 4th.
7th overall pick. Yeah. I mean, it just really hasn't panned out for him.
But he needs Keenan Allen to not be there. Like that's when he boomed the other day, was that Keenan Allen went out with back spasms or whatever it was.
Yeah. Tight end Hunter Henry. You really want to hope that there's better options out there, but his athleticism keeps
not a tight end.
Boom or bust tight end 1, man. Yep. I keep talking about boom or bust, and that's what this team really is in it. I feel like that's been like that for quite a few years recently. Philip Rivers always found a way to lose it for him at the end. But already up
always
next,
through the interception.
Always right when you needed it. But Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Dallas Cowboys. I'm really curious to see what you have on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I have a question for you. in this one, so
Sure.
I'll ask while we go through. But go ahead and hit me with the Steelers.
All right. So Ben Roethlisberger, I'm saying he's startable this week, but I am worried about him falling into QB2 territory during this game. I think that is a distinct possibility. There's some issues there. And part of that has to do with the fact that he has not finished better than quarterback 11 overall at any point in any week this year. So they're really not pushing the ball down the field. This is very much like Drew Brees. It really, really is. Lots of good guys for targets and then just not getting the depth. That's why Deontay Johnson's doing really well, is he tends to work closer to the line of scrimmage with his passing or with his receiving. James Conner's a start. Dallas is not defending against the run very well, and so Conner should be able to have a very solid day for you. Fire him up. Juju Smith-Schuster. Well, here's my note. With the wide receivers, Juju Smith-Schuster, Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool, fire all of them up. You're going to get value out of all of them. And I think that you could throw any of them into wide receiver slots. You don't have to put them in the flex.
So my question real quick, Kyle, is Juju Smith-Schuster, do you start him or Marvin Jones this week if Matthew Stafford is playing?
Oh, gosh. Both.
I can't.
No los dos.
One.
I honestly would say I would probably lean Marvin Jones. And that might be a little contrarian, but it's more about lack of competition for targets.
Yep.
And so if Matt Stafford is able to go, he doesn't need to practice to be fine and effective and able to match up with him. But Galladay is very likely out. That is a very likely possibility. We're recording this a couple of days early, so we don't know. He's maybe already been declared out. We're not sure. Yep. He is considered week to week. He's unlikely this week. Marvin Jones will be a direct beneficiary, most likely, of the vacated targets from Galladay. Whereas Juju, while this matchup is beautiful, there is the distinct possibility that he will disappear like he has at various points during the season.
He could get 8 targets or he could get 3.
Yeah. And I don't really have any way to predict why that's happening. I don't. And so I can't anticipate it here. I do know that Deontay Johnson, when he's healthy, is very consistent. And Chase Claypool has been somewhat boom or bust, but he's been somewhat consistent with a good floor for you. Juju has disappeared at times. Yeah. And so in my opinion, he's the third best wide receiver in fantasy football on that team. Yeah. And that's just because you can't predict it. I like a little more predictability with those guys. The last start I want to mention is Eric Ebron. He may be a back-end tight end 1 this week, but again, he's very touchdown dependent. And if he gets that touchdown for you, he could finish in the top 3, top 6, somewhere in that neighborhood and salvage a day for you. Potentially, he might help you win something. There we go. Cincinnati, is that right? No, we are on
Dallas.
I saw Andy Dalton and then we are on Dallas. Yep.
The Andy Dalton, the red, what is it?
Rifle.
Oh, sorry. I almost said that.
Don't mess that up.
Don't do that.
I don't even like that one and people still use it.
I have some analysis right here. You ready for this? So I had Andy Dalton down.
Wait. Here, I'll name them. I'll name the guys. Andy Dalton.
Yep.
What do you got on him? Ben DiNucci. Cooper Rush. Garrett Gilbertson or whatever his name is. What do you got? Gilbert Garrettson. I don't know which it is.
That's literally the analysis right there. I just put
on all of them. Yeah.
On all of them. So running back, Ezekiel Elliott made my fade of the week. Definitely check that out. That episode in the description below. I mean, you have to start him because of your draft pedigree. I mean, you drafted him in the first round.
Well, no. This is not if you listen to us.
Terrible offense. And also, Elliott was limited in practice this week. You can't ignore that. Yeah. And then for wide receivers, I have it for all 3 of here. I have Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, CeeDee Lamb, flex only wide receivers. That's where I see them right now. It's just one of them could be really good this week. You just don't know which one it's going to be. It's not, it's not Dak Prescott throwing the ball, and all 3 are being valuable. And for Dalton Schultz, I have him as a sit because it's a super tough matchup. And, did we mention the 4 quarterbacks that are quite terrible? I don't know if we did or not. I mean, I don't know if we want to stick another jab in there, but already next matchup, we have Miami Dolphins against the Arizona Cardinals. What you got for the Dolphins?
Tua is a start. Start. That's right. He's a start here. I know Arizona is a little bit tough, but I think that Tua is a good start here. Miles Gaskin, this is a decent matchup, not great.
If he plays, real quick, I do want to mention that out there. If he plays, there's a recent report out there that he might not be playing, but definitely keep an eye on that.
If he doesn't play, I think that you pivot to Breida if you need to have somebody in this game. If you are stuck because Gaskin's out, then I think you pivot to Breida. That's who you go for. Ignore anybody's advice who tells you to go with Jordan Howard. They are just a bad fantasy football analyst, and they should quit what they're doing and stop it. Look, either way, whatever guy that you tried out there in this game is going to struggle a little bit potentially to get things going there. But it could be a decent enough day for you. The other guy that I'm saying that you can start here is a solid play. That is Devontae Parker. Solid play in any given week. And with Tua, he has additional upside because he could go off at any time. It's just a matter of time before Tua finally figures out exactly how to make it work at this level. And when he does, Devontae Parker is your primary beneficiary of that. I do want to note that Isaiah Ford was traded interdivision trade, which is rare. They sent him to the basement dweller of this division at this point, I think, which is the New England Patriots. I love that Bill Belichick's excuse for why they're losing so much is that they sold out to make a run at the last 3 Super Bowls that they won, and I'm like, well, I don't think that's how it works, Bill.
You sold out by giving Tom Brady like 20th when it comes to quarterback money. Tom Brady has been giving you. Yeah, he's full of crap. I mean, I looked at it like last year's numbers. I mean, they had so many people that were making double-digit millions of dollars that were just straight garbage.
Yeah.
So that's why Bill. GM, the Bill Belichick GM is quite terrible. It's the head coach is what's keeping him employed. That's keeping him afloat. So it's just starting to come back to haunt him because he doesn't have Tommy. Twommy. Covering it up.
It's those immunity pills. All right. So Arizona, what you got?
Kyler Murray, start your studs, man. Set it and forget it. Passing and rushing is amazing for this quarterback position for Kyler Murray.
I think we said that he had the potential, that he and Dak had the potential to be QB1 overall on the season in fantasy for us. And then Dak got hurt, obviously. So that kind of put the kibosh on that. But we said Kyler Murray was a top 3 value this year at QB. We didn't want to pay up for him. We thought he was a little bit too pricey. We thought Dak was the better value. But now it's turning out it's Murray because Dak got hurt.
For running back, Chase Edmonds, he should get the majority of carries, and Dolphins give up the 7th most points to running backs. And that's because Kenyon Drake is out, so workload should be high for Chase Edmonds. Might not be Kenyon Drake high as what it was at the start of the season, but I think it's going to be a good amount of workload for him. DeAndre Hopkins is a definite start. It's one of those things where, previous to the bye week, because they're coming off a bye, he had been hampered with an ankle injury throughout the week of practice. So he hasn't been practicing much, but he's still been putting up top 3 wide receiver numbers. So I think that week of rest could help him, and I think he's going to maintain that top 3 wide receiver. And Christian Kirk, man, he's super hot right now. I mean, he's got 4 touchdowns the last 2 games.
So hot right now.
So hot.
Christian Kirk's so hot right now.
I got you clock radio, but that's all I have right now for Arizona Cardinals. So up next we have the New Orleans Saints against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What do you have for the Saints, sir?
All right, Drew Brees is a sit, guys. This is a terrible matchup, and I think he was my fade QB of the week, and it wasn't just fading; it was straight up sitting. Sit him, even with Michael Thomas back. Expect him to struggle this week, and that is solely because, well, not solely. That's primarily because of Tampa Bay, but it's also because he's been struggling very, very, very much. Alvin Kamara is a start because you got to start your studs, but you're hoping beyond all hope that he sneaks into running back 1 territory this week. But that is going to be very, very difficult. Tampa Bay is very good against the run, guys. And that's even after they lost Vita Vea. They've still been solid because the backup was still a good guy for that. Michael Thomas, this is not a good matchup, and he's been a problem this season. He could sneak into wide receiver 2 territory. It's tough to say. Could be a situation where it's just he gets all the volume on the attempts. If I remember correctly, Devontae Adams did okay against Tampa Bay, but it was not like better than wide receiver 3.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. And then I just wanted to note Emmanuel Sanders is on COVID IR, so you're not even considering him. Move on. Nobody else is worth starting there. And so let's talk about Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay, hashtag Twami. We were just talking about him. Chris Godwin should be back for this game, so that pushes him into quarterback 1, in my opinion. So not number 1 overall, of course, but QB 1 through 12. Now, when it comes to running backs, this is a very muddled situation right now. Ronald Jones was benched last week whenever he had a fumble down towards the end zone. So as soon as he fumbled, he got benched. And Leonard Fournette, come on down. He played the majority of snaps after that. But guess what? He was ineffective. Let me know if you've heard of that when it comes to Leonard Fournette. Yeah. And the Saints are good against running backs. So that is something where I'm sitting both running backs. But wide receivers, Mike Evans, start him up. Chris Godwin, start him up. I think they're going to be back and doing well. The guy that we don't want to mention on this podcast, at least I don't want to mention, this is going to be his first game if he plays. Arians said he could play either 10 snaps or 35. So once again, Bruce Arians hates fantasy football players and owners and everything like that. But
he should get 0 snaps. That's what he should.
He should get 0 snaps. So, but Rob Gronkowski is a tight end that 2 starts. That's not who I was just talking about, but Rob Gronkowski, new topic, is a start. He is turning into a must start. He's touchdown in 3 straight games. But what happens whenever Godwin comes back and this other player comes in? So I think he's going to lean on him, though. I think hashtag Tommy will. Yep,
I think so, too. All right, let's move on here. Our last matchup, I believe, is it?
Yeah, it is.
Is it our okay, so we've got the New England versus the Jets. Here we go. It's New England at the Jets, actually. We've got Cam Newton. I'm actually saying start him here. This is a good matchup, and his rushing upside and it's actually a rushing upside. It's not a rushing base. It's a rushing upside here. It's something that allows you to consider starting him here, and that's because I don't know that he's going to get a heck of a lot out of the passing game, but the rushing could result in maybe a touchdown, maybe 2. It is entirely possible that happens. And that is why I've got Damian Harris as a flex running back. Flex is best here for him because he could lose goal line carries out to Cam Newton, and that is a real problem there.
Yeah.
James White, you could consider flexing as well. Just because of his value in the passing game. But I think that Damian Harris has shown over the last few weeks that he is the guy that they are going to consistently. Believe it or not, a New England Patriots running back group is actually being controlled by one running back right now. Believe it or not.
Well, this is a weird season for the Patriots. So
yeah. And then look, Devin Asiasi, I think that's how we pronounce it. He's tight end. They placed him on IR, quote, for personal reasons. But this is actually one of those matchups where the tight end could flourish, could do really, really well. I don't like any of the wide receivers here, and that is because I think the wide receivers are not good enough. They could do well. They could be worth starting. I'm passing on them. I would have said it's start a CSC. Otherwise, I think maybe Dalton Green is worth starting, worth considering, but you probably have some better options. I don't know.
Yeah.
So Jets.
All right, so the New York Jets, they are the
worst.
That is right.
And I have, Kyle, 0 starts.
Yep, that's right.
Not even a flex consideration.
Yep,
not even a flex consideration. That's what I have. I mean, that's really it.
I think the wide receivers are kind of banged up too, so that makes
Crowder's hurt, Perriman's hurt, Denzel Mims is a rookie, Hogan's out for the year, Jeff Smith, I don't even know who the heck that is anymore. That's
Herndon's kind of pass. Ryan Griffin's a pass. Yeah, I mean,
Sam Darnold can't throw because his shoulder's all banged up, but they keep throwing him out there for some reason. I don't know why. Sit him, get him healthy.
Because Adam Gase hates football.
He hates fun.
He hates football. I'm pretty convinced it's just football generally.
Just in general.
Yep. All right, guys. So that does it for week 9 in total. That is all of our matchups. That is all of our episodes for this week. So make sure that you go down in the description below and catch any of the episodes that you might have missed down there. We've got direct links to all of that so that you can catch up on anything before the games start tomorrow. As well as that, make sure you go ahead and hit the subscribe button so that next week you don't miss any of the episodes when we upload them. If you click the bell, it notifies you when we do upload those. So make sure you do that. I'm going to throw onto the screen our start, streamers, and fades, as well as part 1 of our starts and sits for this week. I'll put that up on the screen right now so that you have that, and we will see you guys next week. Thanks for being fans of the upside. We hope that you win this week. Bye.
See you guys.